Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andi Siti Nuresha Putri Ananta. Today, I'm reading Unit 1 with the title The Concept of Group Discussion. A. An effective group discussion. A group discussion is defined as a theoretical dialogue about a certain topic or possible a variety of topics held in a group of sufficient size to allow all participants to participate. A leader isn't necessary for a group of 2 or 3 to have a successful debate, but if the number exceeds 5 or 6, a leader or facilitator might be useful. When there are 8 or more people in the group, a leader or facilitator, whether formal or informal, is nearly always helpful in ensuring that the discussion runs smoothly. A good interaction is more than action followed by reaction in an ideal group conversation. Interaction entails acting in a reciprocal manner on one another. As an example, a class demonstrating interaction will proceed as follows: teacher, students, students, teacher, students, 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 materials, students, materials. The procedures for group discussion will be carried out by the students when the learning process is in progress. Although a group discussion is a type of meeting, it differs from formal meetings in several ways. It might or might not have a clear objective. Many group talks are simply that a group of people discussing a topic. It's possible that this will lead to a goal, but it's also possible that it won't. Its leadership is usually less directive than that of a meeting, and it emphasizes process the exploration of ideas over product particular text to be completed within the bounds of the meeting itself. Leading a discussion group is not the same as leading a meeting. It might not have a clear objective. Many group conversations are simply that a group of people bouncing ideas of each other about a topic. Running a meeting is not the same as leading a discussion group. It's a lot closer to functioning as a facilitator, but it's not quite the same. B. Elements of group discussion. All members of the group have the opportunity to speak, freely expressing their own ideas and feelings, and to pursue and complete their talks. All members of the group can openly hear others' ideas and feelings. Group member can safely test out ideas that are not yet fully formed. Group members can receive and respond to respectful but honest and constructive feedback. Feedback might be favorable or negative, or it can simply clarify or address factual questions or errors, but it is always given with respect. Various points of view are present and discussed. The discussion is not dominated by any one person. Arguments will head are based on the content of ideas and opinions, not on personalities, and even in the most heated debates. Arguments are based on the content of ideas and opinions, not on personalities. Many group talks are held for no other reason than to exchange ideas and viewpoints. Finally, a successful group conversation is one in which a wide range of views and perspectives are heard and considered. This enables the group to achieve its goal if one exits or to develop a foundation for continued discussion or additional interaction and collaboration among its members. C. The purpose of a group discussion such as create a new situation from a coalition, launch an initiative H. Explore cooperative or collaborative arrangement among group or organization. Discuss and or analyze an issue with no specific goal in mind but understanding. Develop a strategic plan for an initiative and advocacy campaign and intervention H. Discuss policy and policy change, air concerns and differences among individuals or groups, hold public hearings on proposed laws or regulation. D. When might lead a group discussion? Of course, the need or desire for a group conversation can emerge at any moment, but there are occasions when it is especially vital. 1. At the commencement of a new project, whether you're planning an intervention, launching a new initiative, launching a new program, forming a coalition, or launching an advocacy or other campaign, an open and inclusive conversation is likely to be critical to developing the best possible plan and gaining community support and ownership. 2. When a problem can no longer be overlooked, when juvenile violence reaches a tipping point, the community's drinking water is deemed hazardous, or the HIV infection rate rises. Group must assemble to debate the issue and devise action plans to shift the pendulum back in the right direction. 3. When two or more groups must be brought together, convening groups made up of representatives from all of the sides engaged is one technique to cope with racial or ethnic hatred. For example, the subsequent discussion and the opportunity for people from various backgrounds to form personal bonds with one another can go a long way toward addressing everyone's concern and reducing tensions. 4. When an existing group is deciding what to do next or trying to solve a problem that is important to them. A community service organization's personnel, for example, might want to plan its work for the coming months or figure out how to cope with people who have special eccentricities or issues. E. Help the group establish ground rules. The ground rules of a group discussion are the parameters that assist keep the conversation on topic and keep it from devolving into name-calling or simple bickering. If the group is having problems coming up with the first one or two, you could recommend the following. 1. No name-calling. Angry outbursts or accusation shall be used to treat others with respect. 2. There will be no disputes directed at people, only concepts and opinions will be debated. Disagreement shall be civil rather than mocking. 3. Please don't interrupt. Listen to entirety of what others are saying rather than just raking through your own reaction in your head. 4. Respect the time of the group so that others have an opportunity to respond. Try to keep your comments short and to the point. 5. Take all comments seriously and attempt to give them a fair evaluation. Others' talk and remarks may pressure you to modify your mind or vice versa. It's critical to remain flexible. 6. If someone disagrees with you, don't get defensive. Examine both points of view and only argue for yours if you still believe it is correct. 7. Everyone is accountable for adhering to and encouraging the ground's rules. F. Lead the discussion. The discussion topic or assisting the group in setting the topic, fostering the open process, involving all participants, asking questions or offering ideas to advance the discussion, summarizing or clarifying important points, arguments, and ideas, and wrapping up the session are just a few of them. Let's take a look at this as well as some discussion group leader do's and don'ts. 1. Cushing and the theme in the first step. The conversation topic is already definite if the group is meeting to discuss a specific issue or to plan something. If the topic is uncertain, someone should assist the group in defining it. The leader can play this role by asking the correct question, clarifying the problem, and encouraging group suggestion. Promoting an open process, nurturing the your level of involvement may vary depending on your leadership style, but you don't have certain obligation her setting. 1. Open process entails paying attention to the discussions, process, topic, and interpersonal dynamics all at once, a difficult task. As the leader, your job isn't to tell the group what to do or to force particular conclusions, but to ensure that the group picks an appropriate topic that meets its needs, that there are no right answer to begin with, no predetermined conclusion, that no one person or small group dominates the discussion, that everyone follows the ground rules, the discussion is civil and organized, and that all ideas are critically analyzed. When it appears that commenting on the discussion process or interpersonal issues is beneficial, you may do so. 2. All participants are involved. This is part of promoting openness, but it is significant enough to warrant its own mention. To include individuals who are less aggressive or timid, or who simply can't speak or fast enough. You may directly ask for their opinion, encourage them with body language, smile when they say something, lean and gaze toward them frequently, and be aware of when they want to speak but can. Everyone shall have lots of opportunities to convey their perspective, but for the sake of the process and for the sake of the interchange of ideas. 3. To advance the topic, you can ask questions or make suggestions. The leader should be aware of the debate's progress and should be able to ask questions, supply information, or make arguments that stimulate, throw, or move the discussion along as needed. It's the leader's role to keep the conversation going if members are having problems grasping the topic, being distracted by trivial concern, or simply running out of steam. 4. Important points, arguments, or concepts are summarized or clarified. This job requires ensuring that everyone understands a recent point or the two sides of an issue. It can include reiterating a group conclusion or emphasizing a specific notion or point stated by an individual. What I believe I heard you say. The goal is to ensure that everyone knows what the person or group was trying to say. 5. The session is coming to a close. As the meeting comes to a close, the leader shall assist the group in reviewing the conversation and formulating plans for the next stage, more discussion session, action involving other people or group. He shall also go through any agreed open assignment or duties, making sure that everyone understands their obligation and the deadlines for those responsibilities. Other elements in the wrap-up include gathering comments on the session, including suggestions for how to improve it, highlighting the group's accomplishments and thanking them for their efforts. G. Do's and don'ts for discussion leaders. Do 1. Model the attitudes and behaviors you want your group members to have. This includes treating all members of the group with respect, promoting the open process, displaying what it means to be a learner or an answer, and providing ways to find out, asking questions based on others' remarks, focusing on possession rather than the speaker, and listening attentively. 2. Encourage others with your body language and tone of voice, as well as your words. Maintain on an open and accessible body posture. Smile when appropriate and pay close attention to everyone. 3. Thank you for participating in the debate and providing positive feedback, so that you follow implement by smiling, repeating group members' point and other means. 4. Observe people's behaviors and sentiments and reply appropriately. If group members are perplexed, it might be beneficial to go through the comments or points that stated the perplexity again, or to restate them more clearly. 5. Post open needed inquiries. Use questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no to advance the topic. Instead, questions should elicit some level of thought from members of the group, as well as responses that provide reason or analysis. 6. Control your own prejudice. Members of the group should be agreed to make sensible decisions about which stance or points of view they want to support, and ultimately which concept the group agrees on make the most sense to them. Identifying and discussing bias, including your own, benefits both you and the rest of the group. 7. Encourage disagreement and assist the group in making creative use of it. Disagreement should be analyzed and utilized rather than smoothed over. 8. As much as possible, keep your mouth shut. Discussion groups are, for the most part, for the members of the group. You may be a member of the group who has been invited to lead it, in which case you have every right to participate in the conversation. I'll talk now to dominate. 1. Don't let a single person or a small number of people dominate the conversation. This can be accomplished in a non-threatening manner. 2. Allow no one point of view to take precedence over others until it is supported by facts and logic and is successfully persuading group members to change their beliefs. It's exactly what you want to happen in a productive group conversation. 3. Don't presume anybody has specific beliefs or viewpoints because of his culture, upbringing, race, personal style, or anything else. 4. Don't try to be the wisest person on the planet, even if you know more about the discussion topic than the majority of the others in the group. For example, if you're a teacher, portraying yourself as the intellectual authority denies group members the opportunity to freely and without pressure discuss the topic. H. Summary. A successful group discussion leader must pay attention to the discussion procedure and topic, as well as the people in the group. He must to the extent possible prepare the space and the setting, assist the group in establishing ground rules that will keep the discussion civil and comfortable. profit whatever materials are required, familiarize herself with the topic, and ensure that any pre-discussion, reading, or assessment are distributed in a timely manner. Then he must lead the debate, ensuring that it is conducted in an open manner, with everyone participating and no one dominating. When personal difficulties and demands of individual groups member affect the group, pay attention to them, summarize or clarify when necessary, and ask questions. So thank you so much. Bye.